Hola amigos! It's November and that means one thing for me, Thanksgiving. I went to an American school, so we celebrated Thanksgiving every year, and one of my favorite things to eat was pumpkin pie. This is my ultimate pumpkin pie recipe. A flaky shortcrust pastry filled with a lightly spiced and smooth pumpkin custard with a few secret ingredients in it. So, let's get started. We're gonna start by making our shortcrust pastry. What I love about this recipe is it will give you enough for 2 crusts. I always use one and freeze the other. In a food processor, we're gonna put our flour, sugar, and salt. Pulse a couple of times until combined. Now we're going to add our cubed and very cold butter and shortening. Butter will give you the flavor and shortening the flaky texture. Pulse until the mix resembles small pea-sized granules. We're going to finish off with some ice-cold water. Drizzle it in while pulsing. Place the mixture into a clean surface and we're gonna give it a bit of a knead just until it holds its shape. Flatten it out into a disc, wrap it in cling film, and we're gonna let this rest in the fridge for 30 minutes. Once your dough has chilled, it's time to roll it out on a lightly floured surface. I'm gonna cut it in 2, one of them I'll freeze. You want to make sure you roll it about 3 centimeters larger than your pie dish. Start by beating it with your rolling pin and rotating it so it doesn't crack when we roll it. Roll and keep moving and flouring your surface so it doesn't stick. You want it to be about 3 millimeters thick. That looks about right. Using your rolling pin, transfer it to the pie dish. To crimp it, fold the edge under, kind of inside the plate. Crimping a pie crust isn't just to make it look pretty. It also helps to hold up the edges so they don't collapse during baking. Just push with your index finger like this. After crimping, I'm going to chill it in the freezer for 10 minutes as the butter has softened a bit. We want the pastry to be very cold so it doesn't shrink in the oven. Okay, here we have our very cold pie crust. We're gonna blind bake it now. Blind baking means baking a crust without a filling. So, we're going to line the crust with some parchment paper and fill with pie weights. If you don't have pie weights, you can use beans or rice. We're gonna bake it at 220 degrees for 15 minutes until the edges start to brown. Take the pie weights out, prick the crust all over, including the sides, with a fork. Okay, we're gonna bake for another 5 minutes. The last thing is just to wash it all over with a thin layer of egg wash. This is the key to a crisp crust. It creates a barrier between the crust and the filling, preventing it from getting soggy. We're gonna pop it back in the oven just until the egg sets, about 3 minutes. All right, our pie crust is out of the oven. While that cools down slightly, let's work on our filling. It's so easy to make. I recommend using all room temperature ingredients so it bakes evenly. In a big bowl, crack the eggs, give them a quick whisk. Now let's add our thickened cream, the milk, our white sugar, now our brown sugar, some salt, and all our spices. We've got some cinnamon, a bit of ginger, and some nutmeg. Give it a little whisk. I'm using canned pumpkin puree. I've made this pie before using my own pumpkin puree, where I've roasted pumpkins, pureed them. It just doesn't taste the same. It just doesn't have that classic American pumpkin pie flavor I remember. These last ingredients are optional, but they'll add some juju to this pie, trust me. I'm using some orange zest and dark rum. Whisk to smooth it all out. Okay, we're ready to pour this into our pie. Place your pie dish into a baking sheet. That way your filling doesn't spill everywhere. It's very liquidy. And in goes the filling. We're going to bake this at 180 for 55 to 65 minutes until the filling is just set in the middle and a skewer inserted in the center comes out clean. We're gonna let our pie cool completely before slicing it. The last thing we're making is a rum whipped cream. This will complement the pie so well. Place the cream in a bowl and beat on medium speed for 1 minute. Now we'll add our sugar, a bit of rum, and vanilla. Beat until soft peaks form. That's our cream done. This reminds me so much of Thanksgiving. All those flavors, the pumpkin, the spices coming through, that bit of rum and orange zest, wow. The custard texture is super smooth, almost like a mousse. It's not like those dense custard pies. The pastry is perfect, it's still crisp. It's such a good texture. While our pumpkin pie has been cooling, there's been a massive storm, so excuse the thunder. So there you have it, my ultimate pumpkin pie. Thanks for watching, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Adios amigos! The zest and rum through it really make this pie stand out. Whoa.